But then they finally did it. The Mad Lads actually did it. Spyro the Dragon got the remaster treatment. Also, he blazed up with Snoop Dogg. What the hell?
Spyro Reignited Trilogy. I'm finna go play this right now. Get out my face, man.
What is happening? Each game now has a toggleable map. Spyro 1 has some skill points like 2 and 3 did. Sparks can point out missing gems from the start of each game. Thank the heavens. And even though I loved Carlos Alazraqui as the voice of Spyro in the first game, Tom Kenny reprises his role from 2 and 3 and now voices Spyro in all 3. That's very nice. And then graphically, I mean, just look at it. This is amazing. Also, the little light bar on the PlayStation 4 controller changes color depending on what color Sparks is. How is no one else talking about this? At least in these, you get to move Spyro around. In Crash, we just had to deal with Aku Aku floating around like, hey, you ready to play? Just give it like an extra minute, I promise. They also got rid of the whole gems flying across the screen thing. That's pretty lame. Eventually, I did train myself to just like look at Spyro's butt when I spun the camera, and that did help, but that's not something I should have had to do in the first place.
Thank you for releasing me.
You shut your damn mouth. I have seen some people say that the Norks are now just a bit too ugly. Wasn't that the whole point? The entire premise behind the original game's plot is Nasty Nork being called ugly and then he goes on a rampage. I really wouldn't have it any other way. And as for the boss fights, well, I mean, these guys have always been pretty lame. There's not much more you can do with them. You can't really alter what they've always been, a slight little obstacle in some of the game's shorter levels. Though like a cutscene or something introducing them would have been nice, instead of just them being there. And of course, that does mean we end off with a very easy chasing sequence with Nasty Nork, which, the end of the game is still pretty anticlimactic. But, at the very least, now I know what Blowhard is supposed to be. I really couldn't tell with this pixel vomit. The one guy in Magma Cone still burns a lava-filled death. Glad they maintained that. The guns, that's a little bit extreme, but dying from lava, it's for kids. Rest in peace, my guy.
Trouble with the trolley, eh?
Not anymore, you big stupid idiot! And then speaking of Scorch, poor Bombo got censored too. Now he's just Bob. Okay, fine, I guess I can accept that one. The name Bombo is a little bit more extreme. He still sucks too.
My pencil! My pencil!
Okay, no, you've made that objectively worse. That being said though, I did have a couple of problems here. The cameras for the boss battles could be a little bit better. Gulp in particular got way too much of a difficulty spike. I'm not sure why that is. Thankfully though, the Ripto fight is still really cool. Was pretty worried about that, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of my favorite fights of the trilogy. It's just as awesome as ever. Thank goodness. Oh yeah, and now when you have a power-up, Spyro's entire design changes. Oh, that's so cool. They also didn't fix the crap where if you do the stupid alchemist mission before getting the headbutt, you have to do it again when you do get the headbutt. That is literally the worst part of the game. Why did you not change that? Top 10 most annoying characters in video games. Number 1, the alchemist. Like just look at Crazy Ed. I love him. He's my favorite design. Also, can I get a hello to Bianca, now looking like Lola Bunny from Space Jam? Certainly a whole lot better than... Yeah, this was the game I was worried about the most going into it, and thankfully, I can confirm, just like everything else in this package, they are all pretty great, if not just as good, meaning still slightly annoying as the originals. Like the skateboarding, it is such a minuscule part of the entire trilogy. I was really nervous that this was gonna be bad, and some of the physics are slightly off, but it's more or less what we're used to. That being a not as good Tony Hawk Pro Skater clone. And yes, don't you worry your pretty little heads, you can indeed ride on a squid skateboard. Yo, these developers care. Kicks come out faster, her jumping, it just seems more satisfying. That could just be me. But yeah, no complaints in the original, no complaints here. She controls great. And she's also, like, super adorable. Oh my goodness, she has this really cute hairstyle now and this, like, ranger vest. Oh my goodness, I love it. Next up, there's Sergeant Bird. He still takes a little bit of time to get used to, but he is nowhere near as stiff as he used to be. And the rockets that he shoots seem to have a way stronger homing ability now, making combat way less annoying. He also, like, waddles when he walks. Oh my god, he's adorable too. It is what it is. Oh dear god, what the hell is that? That's, okay. Sure. Yeah. Alright. Oh, and also, boxing with Bentley still sucks. There ain't nothing anyone can do to save that. It's also nice that I get to see this one cutscene actually play in-game. I mentioned this in my Spyro 3 video, but since I don't have the greatest hits version, that cutscene just straight up doesn't play in the first release of that game, so I didn't even know it existed until like a few years ago. And yes, that means the greatest hits version of the soundtrack was used as well. I'm sure that's gonna make a lot of people happy.